techniques. So I want to sneak up on something that might be big that's there for you.
Yes.
So how are you feeling just sitting here right now?
A little bit anxious.
And where are you feeling that in your body?
In my stomach and in my throat.
Okay, so even though I'm a little bit anxious,
And I'm
feeling that in my stomach and my throat, because there's something big I want to work on,
because there's something huge I want to work on,
and I'm not sure I really want to go there.
I'm sure I really
I'm
want to
sure
go there.
I want to go there, but it's a bit scary.
But it's very scary.
I accept myself.
And
my stomach and my throat. And I choose to feel this loving energy that I'm sitting in.
And I choose to feel this lovely oozing energy that I'm sitting in.
I accept myself deeply and completely. Even though there's still some anxious feelings.
Even though there's still a little anxious feeling.
In my stomach and my throat. I thank my body. And let my body know I'm safe.
I'm very safe.
Even to approach this huge thing. Gently and safely. Because I do want to process it.
Because I absolutely want to process it.
And I accept myself deeply and completely. Mm-hmm. This remaining anxious feeling. In my stomach and my throat. I want to process and release it. Even when I think about this huge thing. And feel safe. Knowing that I'll approach it gently. That I'm in safe hands. And in a safe room. The perfect place to process this. I thank my body. And I'm letting my body know. It's time to release this anxious feeling. And feel safe. I want to process this.
I want to process it, get rid of it, shoot it, kill it.
Get it out of my
body. It's been holding me back for years.
Excellent. All right. So how's your body feeling right now?
Quite good. My throat's much better, and I just feel like maybe the size of a tiny ball, just a little tiny bit anxious.
So out of 10, what would that be down there?
Oh, half a 1.
Okay, so nothing much. So that's sneaking up. So we've gone exactly what was there with the anxiety to make her feel calm and collected. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so just tapping now. When you think about this huge thing, I want you to put it outside of the room. This huge memory, this huge thing. Okay?
Okay.
So put it outside of the room. And if you were to guess at going to that thing that's outside of the room, that huge thing, it's not in here, we're safe and protected in here. If you were to guess at going to it, where would you be feeling it in your body? And what emotion would it be?
If I went to it?
If you guessed at going there. Where would you feel it in your body if you went there? Just guessing.
I'm feeling like it's away. I can't...
Yeah.
I'm not feeling... I'm feeling like it's...
It is away over there.
It's away over there.
All right. So if you went and visited there briefly and felt it and come back, what would it be? Where would you feel it in your body?
I can feel it all over.
All over?
All over.
And what would the emotion be?
Tense, stressed.
And where in your body? All over, that tense, stress feeling?
All over.
Okay. Even though? If I went to that memory? But I'm safe here in this room? I'd feel that stress all over my body? I accept myself? Deeply and completely? Even though I'm safe in this room? But if I went to that memory?
But if I went to that memory,
I'd have stress right through my whole body.
I have stress right through my whole body.
10 out of 10 stress.
10 out of 10 stress.
I accept myself
I accept myself
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely,
Even though I am safe in this room.
even though I am safe in this room.
But if I went to that memory, I'd feel stress 10 out of 10 in my whole body.
10 out of 10 in my whole body, I'd be stressed.
I accept myself
I accept myself
and my body
deeply and
completely.
completely.
I want to feel safe,
I want to feel safe,
even guessing at going to that memory
even at guessing at going to that memory
and feeling stress in my whole body.
and feeling stress in my whole body.
That 10 out of 10 stress.
That 10 out of 10 stress.
Part of me is connected with that 10 out of 10 stress.
Part of me is connected deeply with that 10 out of 10 stress.
And I want to let that part of me know
And I want to let that part of me know
that I'm safe now.
that I'm safe now.
And that part of me doesn't need to hang on to that stress.
And that part of me doesn't need to hang on to that stress.
It's time to process and release that stress.
It's more than time to process and release this stress.
Even when I imagine going to that memory
Even when I imagine going to that memory
and feeling that 10 out of 10 stress
and feeling that 10 out of 10 stress
in my whole body.
in my whole body,
I want to process it and let it go.
I want to process it and let it go.
Part of me knows I'm safe.
All of me knows I'm safe.
And that part of me that knows I'm safe
That part of me that knows I'm safe
is sending that message
is sending that message
to me back in that memory outside of the room.
to me back in that memory outside of the room.
That part of me outside of the room
That part of me outside the room
that's in that memory
that's in that memory
that's really stressed
that's really stressed
in her whole body.
in my whole body,
Sending that part of me,
sending that part of me,
that feeling of safety
that feeling of safety
that I've got now. Tapping on her back then,
tapping on her back then,
who's feeling all that stress in her body.
who's feeling all that stress in her body,
Corner of the eye, that 10 out of 10 stress
that 10 out of 10 stress
in that memory
in that memory
outside of this room.
outside of this room,
That memory way back then
that memory way back then,
where she felt stress in her whole body.
where she felt stress in her whole body.
I want to tap on her,
I want to tap on her,
help her release it all.
help her release it all.
Her whole body,
Her whole body,
all that stress,
all that stress,
that huge event.
that huge event.
I want to let her know from the future
I want to let her know from the future
that she can feel safe again.
that she can feel safe again.
I'm her from the future.
I am her from the future.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
And I'm sending her that safe feeling.
And I'm sending her that safe feeling.
What's the frown?
I feel like I'm standing on a plank and I'm chipping from safe to scared.
Okay, so even though, go back here.
Even though
I feel like I'm on a plank
Even though I feel like I'm on a plank
and I'm tipping from safe to scared.
and I'm tipping from safe to scared.
Part of me is scared and part of me is safe.
Part of me scared and part of me safe.
I'm letting the scared part know
I'm letting the scared part know
that the safe part wants to help her.
that the safe part wants to help her.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
That scared part of me
That scared part of me
needs to process this feeling.
needs to process this feeling.
This 10 out of 10 scared feeling.
The 10 out of 10 scared feeling.
Tapping on that.
Tapping on that.
That 10 out of 10 scared feeling in my whole body.
It's not now.
What's it gone down to?
I'm feeling a lot safer.
Even when you tune into that memory that's out there?
No.
So when you start tuning into it now, so we've gone from guessing, but going into tuning into it,
Yeah.
is it still in your whole body or is it specific in one place?
No, it's in one place.
Where is it?
In my stomach.
And if it was an object or a shape or a colour, what would that be?
It would be a soccer ball, but a heavy one, more like a bowling ball.
Yeah, like a heavy bowling ball.
Yeah.
So is it a black colour?
Like a big, heavy rock
Yep.
sitting in my stomach.
Yep. And if that was an emotion that was trapped there, what would it be?
Just
That fright, that complete fright. That's a good face.
yes,
Yeah.
that's how it feels.
Yeah, complete frozen fright.
Yeah.
Even though I've got this heavy bowling ball in my stomach,
Even though I've got this heavy bowling ball in my stomach,
that fright, my whole body's feeling it.
that fright, my whole body feeling it.
It's so heavy in my stomach.
It's so heavy in my stomach.
When I tune into that memory,
When I tune into that memory,
I accept myself and my body
I accept myself and my body
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
Even though I've got that huge ball of fright,
Even though I've got the huge ball of fright,
like a heavy bowling ball,
like a heavy bowling ball,
trapped in my stomach,
it's dispersing.
it's dispersing already.
Yeah, it's like feels like that.
It's dispersing already.
It's dispersing already.
I accept myself
I accept myself
and the way my body's processing this fright.
and the way my body's processing this fright.
The part of me that feels safe is helping me to process it.
The part of me that feels safe is greatly helping me to process it.
And I accept myself deeply and completely.
And I accept myself deeply and completely.
This fright that's dispersing in my stomach,
This fright that's dispersing in my stomach,
even when I tune into that memory,
even when I tune into that memory,
dispersing all that heavy fright
dispersing all that heavy fright
that used to be like a bowling ball,
that used to be like a bowling ball,
allowing it to disperse
allowing it to disperse
as my body processes it.
as my body processes it.
So if you imagined a colour that you could send your stomach to help disperse it all that fright, what would it be? Just ask your body what colour it needs.
What colour
It needs
does it need?
to feel
Gold.
safe. Gold. Feel safe. Keep tapping. Golds. So many golds. Okay.
Gold as in shining light. That could go. Yeah, I don't
Which
know
one?
why. That
That
one,
one?
I don't know.
Power.
Which one's that one?
Power. It's a new one.
I was going to say I haven't heard that one.
Okay, sending my stomach. Keep tapping, sending my stomach.
Set in my stomach,
This beautiful golden colour.
this beautiful golden colour.
Fold it in your hand, feel the energy of it. Sending my stomach.
Set in my stomach,
This beautiful golden colour and energy.
this beautiful golden colour and energy.
This vibration and smell.
Just by vibration and smell.
It's dispersing the remaining fright
It's dispersing the remaining fright
out of my stomach
out of my stomach
and giving me power.
and giving me power.
Allowing my body to process this feeling.
Allowing my body to process this.
So take a deep breath, and when you tune into your stomach now and that memory, water, yep, good idea. In your throat?
Yeah.
So it's moved. Is there anything left in your stomach? Put that up there.
It's just feels like it's just
Dispersing.
moving like that. Yeah.
So tapping here, when you tune into that feeling in your throat, when you tune into that memory,
Yeah.
what's the feeling in your throat? Describe it for me.
Strangling.
Right. So even though I feel this strangling feeling
Even when I feel this strangling feeling
in my throat,
in my throat,
that part of me that feels safe in this room
the part of me that feels safe in this room
lets my throat know I'm safe.
lets my throat know I'm safe.
And I want to process and release
And I desperately want to process and release
this strangling feeling out of my throat,
this strangling feeling out of my throat,
this memory in my throat,
this memory in my throat,
this fear in my throat,
this fear in my throat,
feeling strangled,
feeling strangled,
processing and releasing it.
processing and releasing it.
I accept myself and my body.
I accept myself and my body.
All this fear in my throat,
All this fear in my throat,
this feeling of being strangled,
this feeling of being strangled,
processing it and letting it go.
processing and let it go.
So How's your throat now?
Much better, thank you very much.
I could see
I
it was
don't like
releasing.
being strangled.
No.
It's not comfortable.
No, it's not comfortable being strangled.
No, not comfortable at all.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Releasing the feeling of being strangled
Releasing the fear of being strangled.
out of my body,
Out of my body.
out of my memory,
Out of my memory.
out of my cells.
Out of my cells.
Sending my throat a feeling of safety.
Setting my throat a feeling of safety.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I'm alive.
I'm alive.
Releasing that uncomfortable, I don't like feeling
Releasing the horrible I don't like feeling
out of my throat.
out of my throat.
Sending that beautiful golden power colour
Sending that beautiful golden power colour
to my throat,
to my throat.
to my whole body.
To my whole body.
Even when I tune into that memory.
Even when I tune into that memory.
Okay, so just tapping on the karate chop point and tuning into that memory. So not guessing at it, but really tuning into it.
Okay.
How's that feeling in your body?
Pretty good.
hmm So I didn't ask actually what it was down to by guessing at it, but I could see that a lot of stuff shifted by tuning into the body stuff. So we're doing like chasing the pain.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Just a little bit of pressure. Just very lightly.
hmm
Yeah.
Okay. And where's that light pressure feeling?
Like it's pressing from here to here, just if you were just putting pressure like that,
hmm
but not to hurt or anything, just more uncomfortable.
So even though I've got this uncomfortable light pressure
Even though I've got this uncomfortable light pressure
around my stomach and up to my throat,
all around my stomach and up to my throat,
I accept myself
I accept myself
and the way my body's processing this,
and the way my body's processing this,
and I give my body permission
and I give my body heaps of permission
to fully process this
to absolutely fully get rid of it, kick it out, process it,
and to feel safe,
and to feel safe.
even when I tune into that memory.
Even when I tune into that memory,
I accept myself deeply and completely.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
Tuning into that memory,
Tuning into that memory,
allowing my body to fully process it,
allowing my body to fully process it,
all the fear and pressure,
all the fear and pressure,
the pressure around my stomach,
the pressure around my stomach,
dispersing now,
dispersing now,
all the way up to my throat,
all the way up to my throat,
feeling that golden, powerful feeling,
feeling like I'm oozing in gold,
feeling safe,
feeling safe,
even when I tune into the memory.
even when I tune into the memory.
Everything I saw,
Everything I saw,
everything I heard,
everything I heard,
everything I felt.
everything I felt,
Where's that coming up? Everything I felt,
everything I felt,
everything I felt,
everything I felt,
processing and releasing it.
process and releasing it,
Everything I felt,
everything I felt,
even when I tune into that memory.
even when I tune into that memory,
Processing everything I felt,
processing everything I felt,
allowing that to disperse.
allowing that to disperse,
Tuning into that memory.
tuning into that memory,
Everything I felt.
everything I felt.
Where are you feeling that?
Pardon?
Where are you feeling that? Everything I felt. Where is it?
I feel I want to cry.
All this sadness
All this sadness
around everything I felt.
around everything I felt,
All this sadness.
all this sadness.
I'm safe now.
I'm safe now.
Everything I felt.
Everything I felt,
All this sadness.
all this sadness,
Processing it and letting it go.
processing it, letting it go.
Even when I tune into that memory.
Even when I tune into that memory,
Everything I saw.
everything I saw,
Everything I heard.
everything I heard,
Everything I felt.
everything I felt,
Processing and releasing those feelings.
process and releasing those feelings,
Sending that beautiful gold power,
sending that beautiful gold power,
vibration and colour
vibration with colour,
to everything that I felt.
to everything that I felt,
Letting my body know I'm safe.
letting my body know I'm safe.
Even then,
Even then,
letting my body know I'm safe.
letting my body know I'm safe.
Everything I felt,
Everything I felt,
all that sadness,
all that sadness,
processing it and letting it go.
processing it and letting it go.
Sending my body power.
Sending my body power.
Even when I tune into what I felt.
Even when I tune into what I felt.
How's your body feeling when you tune into what you feel now?
I feel that's going good, but it keeps coming up. Like the conversation I had with my grandmother when I found out that my dad wasn't my dad. My mother wouldn't talk about it, wouldn't discuss anything. It came out in a really violent argument when I was 13. My grandma, I went to my grandma because I was so confused, and she told me that I was a one-night stand, and because from a strict Catholic family, that my mum wrote to the father to have him see if he would pay for an abortion or do something. He didn't want to know about it, and that made me feel like my mum didn't want me.
Okay, so let's go to all of that. Even though I've still got that in the cells of my body.
Even though I've still got that in the cells of my body.
That feeling like my mum didn't want me.
The feeling like my mum didn't want me.
And my dad didn't want me.
And my dad didn't want me.
All the shock around the argument.
All the shock around the argument.
With my grandmother and my mother.
With
my grandmother.
Grandmother and my mother.
I can still hear their shouting voices.
My grandma wasn't there when it come out.
Okay.
My mum, my auntie and my dad were there. They were all really drunk.
And I can still smell.
I can still smell
the alcohol.
The alcohol.
And hear their shouting voices.
And hear their shouting voices very loudly.
Yeah.
Don't tell her, don't tell her. I don't want her to know. She should know. They're arguing over telling me.
Yep, I'm only 13.
I'm only 13.
I can still hear their shouting voices.
I can still hear their shouting voices.
All their arguing.
All their arguing.
She should know, don't tell her.
She should know, don't tell her.
All the confusion and fear in my body.
All the confusion and fear in my body, and my mum just sat there and just kept crying, going, no, 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 like that.
I can hear my mum saying no.
I can hear my mum shouting, saying no.
I can see her sadness and her shock.
I can see her sadness and her shock very
all
clearly.
Her tears, all her tears.
All her tears.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
All my emotions.
All my emotions.
All my reactions to seeing and hearing this.
All my reactions to seeing and hearing this.
All my confusion.
All my confusion.
All my shock.
All my shock.
I want to process and let it go.
I really want to process this and let it go.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
Mum wanted an abortion.
Mum wanted an abortion.
I felt like I wasn't meant to be here.
I felt like I wasn't meant to be here.
But I am here.
But I am here.
I was meant to be here.
I was meant to be here.
But that 13-year-old didn't know that.
But that 13-year-old didn't know that.
She's still trapped in shock.
And she's still trapped in shock and always felt unloved, unwanted. And the family always treated me differently because I was illegitimate.
All those feelings of the family treating me differently.
All the feelings of the family treating me differently.
All those feelings still trapped in my body.
All those feelings still trapped in my body.
In that 13-year-old's body.
In that 13-year-old's body.
I want to let her know.
I want to let her know.
That she's meant to be here.
That she's meant to be here.
I'm letting her know.
I'm loudly letting her know.
She's meant to be here.
She's meant to be here.
Even against all odds.
Even against a hell of a lot of odds.
She's meant to be here.
She's meant to be here.
And I want her to process those feelings.
And I really want her to process these feelings.
That she's not meant to be here. That she wasn't wanted.
That she wasn't wanted.
That the family treated her differently.
That the family still treats her differently.
Letting her let go of all of that.
Letting her let go of all of that.
And tune into why she's here.
And tune into why she's here.
Against all odds.
Against all odds.
They can treat her differently.
They can treat me differently.
But all my reactions.
But all my reactions.
And emotions.
And emotions.
To the way they treat me.
To the way they treat me.
I release and let go.
I release and let go, and I don't bloody care.
All the way back to that 13-year-old.
All the way back to the 5, as long as I can remember, 4 or 5 years old.
All the way back to conception.
All the way back to conception.
I let that me know.
I let that me know
I'm meant to be here.
I'm meant to be here.
And I make a difference.
And I'm going to make a difference.
I already do.
And I already do.
I accept myself
I accept myself
and all my reactions
and all my reactions,
all the way back to conception.
all the way back to conception.
I'm here against all odds.
I'm here against all odds.
Even the way my family treat me.
Even the way my family treat me.
Like I'm different.
Like I'm different.
I am different.
I am different.
And I'm proud of that.
And I'm proud of that.
I'm standing in who I am.
I'm standing and I'm very comfortable in who I am.
And the power that I have.
And the power that I have.
That beautiful orange gold, that beautiful gold power. Let's give you some more of it.
That beautiful gold power that I have.
And that I'm sending to that 13-year-old.
And I'm sending to that 13-year-old.
And that 5-year-old.
And that 5-year-old.
And all the times that I felt I needed it.
For all the times that I felt that I needed it.
When I felt I was treated differently.
When I felt I was treating differently.
That I wasn't wanted.
That I wasn't wanted. I could never understand why. I always thought it was me. I couldn't work it out.
It all belongs over there with them.
It all belongs way over there with them.
All their guilt.
All their guilt.
All their issues.
All their issues.
I'm not hanging on to them anymore.
I don't want to know about any of them anymore. I'm not hanging on.
I release them from my body.
I release them, throw them away.
All my reactions and emotions.
All my reactions and emotions.
To their stuff.
To their stuff.
I'm here to make a difference.
I am here to make a difference.
I am making a difference.
I am making a difference and I'm going to make a difference.
All the way back to all the times I didn't feel like I was meant to be here.
All the way back to all the times I didn't feel like I should have been here.
I know I'm meant to be here.
I know I'm meant to be here.
I was here against all odds.
I was here against all odds.
That's how much I'm meant to be here.
That's how much I'm meant to be here.
And I accept myself.
And I accept myself.
Deeply and completely.
Deeply and completely.
So how's her energy now, guys? It's different. So when you think now of that memory, so is that the memory we're working on?
Yeah.
Is Mum saying no, don't tell her, and she's got to know, no, don't tell her, and all those feelings?
That was when I started smoking dope. That's why I think my dope smoking
was a way to get out of all
was
that.
linked to that.
To numb all those emotions.
Yeah, it's my way. I've had heaps of hypnotherapy. I've been trying since 2008, and I hypnotise really well. But as soon as there's a trauma, I break straight away. I flight. I'm the expert of flight.
Up and run.
Yes, I think.
So when you think about that 13-year-old now, back then, how's she feeling when you see?
Very good, very comfortable. Maturing and getting older, I understand my mother's situation at that time. I understand I come from a completely not nutter family, dysfunctional family, and there's years of it. I understand what was surrounding her, the Catholic upbringing. I understand. For where she was at, I don't blame her.
So that's the cognitive, but it's also the feeling is different, because sometimes people can know that cognitively.
Yeah, but I haven't been able to let go of it.
Yeah, but it's been in your body and your energy.
Yeah.
But now, is it feeling clear when you say all that? It's all over there with them. It's their stuff.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel I'm ready for a shardy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done.
I mean, obviously I use quantum